Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Krista. I'm gonna live authentically with Krista. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I just want to encourage someone and just to speak on like how I feel, what I've learned as a person, in hopes that maybe this might encourage, inspire other people. So I was hearing, I had these words on my mind. I was sitting in front of like my little fireplace and I was hearing, put your money where your mouth is. And I knew what those words meant. Sometimes I just like get words, I get a song, I get a name, I get numbers, like all of this stuff, and just like this is just how the Lord speaks to me about my life. But when I was hearing put your money where your mouth is, I knew that it meant like prove it. And as I was reflecting on that, I was really just really taking all of that in and just remembering words that I've spoken to people, and that our word is our bond, and what we say really matters. What we say really does matter, but it's our actions that match those words that really, really matter. Because we could say whatever we wanted, but if our actions do not follow those things, then it means absolutely nothing. So actually, actions speak louder than words. Words have meaning, but if you can actually follow up with those words through action, then it makes it really, really powerful. And I haven't always lived this way. But as I've grown in my faith and I've learned to care how I live and care how I treat people, and like even my children, as a parent, sometimes you don't always follow up on what you say you're gonna do. But for me, I changed that in my house. And my children know that if I make a promise to them, that I'm gonna keep it, and that my word is my bond. And I've proven myself to that, to my children about that. And I pretty much have told them, or how I feel on the matter is, for example, if I tell my children that I'm gonna take them somewhere, then I'm going to do it. But if there's a time where I can't keep that promise, then it would have to be an emergency situation. But if it's something that I can control, then I'm going to keep that promise. But if something that I can't control, if it's a tragedy, if it's an emergency situation, like my car breaks down, or like something is seriously going on inside my home, like there's a death imminent in my family, there's a death that's happening with one of my animals, then I got to take care of that situation. But if it's something that I can control, you betcha I'm going to keep my promise. I'm going to keep my word, because our word is our bond. And I have learned as a person that if we say something, if you tell somebody that you're going to do something and then you don't do it, it breaks trust. And that's the hard part about relationships sometimes, is that it takes time. It takes time to trust somebody, but it only takes just a moment to completely break that trust. And then you got to rebuild that trust back again until you can actually trust that person. So I've really taught my children, if you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you promise that you're going to do something, then, like I said, do it. Because that matters. Integrity matters. So I hope that this helps someone. But when I thought of those words, put your money where your mouth is, I knew that somebody was feeling like, prove it. You say these things, so prove it. And that's kind of why I wanted to make this video. Just to share that our words have meaning, But our words have no meaning if our actions do not follow what we say we're going to do. So it's so important that when you do say something, if you say that you're going to be there for somebody, that you actually be there for that person. If you make a promise to somebody, then you need to keep that promise. Because if you don't keep that promise, if you don't stay true to your words, then you can't be trusted. And your word is your bond. Your words and what you say mean absolutely everything. What your actions say, what your actions do, is what really determines everything, and whether you could be trusted as a person. Your words and your actions. Words are powerful, but actions that match up those words are absolutely powerful. So, what do you think on the matter? And the reason why it's so important, like to me especially, is because I've been in situations. You know, my growing up without my father around, without my dad around, him stealing money from my piggy bank. Okay, he didn't steal it, but he came to my window. He asked me for money, but then he said he's going to pay me back, but he never did pay me back. And so I know a lot of my my issues that I've had as a person, as an adult, stemmed from how my dad treated me and his lack of showing up for me. But I have learned that it's my responsibility to heal. And that even though my dad treated me that way, even though my dad rejected me, even though my dad abandoned me and didn't take care of me, I can't let that hold me back in life. Because how I was treated, it kind of caused me to shut down in different situations where I was more reserved. I was protecting myself so that no one else could hurt me. But we shouldn't live our life in fear. I've learned that all you have to do as a person is pay attention to how people are, how they show up for you, and not only what they say, but what they do. Because if you have someone that shows up for you and they go out of their way for you to protect you, to love you, to speak life into you, those are the kind of people that you want to keep around. Because it's the people that are devoted to you that is powerful. One of my kiddos stopped by to see me today, and they were asking me if they needed to prove themselves to somebody. Just because they were talking about, like, you know, their friends haven't been really showing up that much. And they asked me if I thought that they should prove themselves to somebody. And I said no. I said, no, you shouldn't have to prove your worth and your value to anybody. They should be able to just look at you, and they should be able to just know that you are a person of value, and that you should never have to validate yourself or prove to yourself to anybody. because anybody, and here's what I really said. I said, if someone wants to be a part of your life and they know that you're a person of value, then they will do what it takes to stay connected to you. That's what I mentioned to them. And this is what I really feel is very true. That if you want to be connected to somebody, and if you see them as a person of value, then you should do what it takes to be connected to them. So, anyways, that's the message. If you resonate with this, if you feel similar, or what's your take on it, feel free to drop it in the comments. See y'all next time. Thanks for being here.